Conversations with Iris. Here's your host, my loving wife, Iris.
Hola, mi gente bonita. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Conversations with Iris, where we learn to grow, or we lean into that growth, ask better questions, and give ourselves permission to evolve. I just love the way that sounds. We give ourselves permission to evolve. And I love bringing you these stories with sazon and pizzazz, and just stories about people that are trying to like voice their concerns out there, their awareness, or teach you. I just love bringing you guys all them good conversation. Let me tell you guys about today's conversation because it feels timely, because we're living in a world that is louder, faster, more polarized than ever, right? We really are. And in the middle of this craziness, which is just very fast paced technology, politics, AI, the noise, one question remains. And I want you to hear this very well. What does it really mean to be human? Think about that. I'm going to say it again. What does it mean to really be human? And today we're going to be exploring that, okay? Let me tell you about our guest today, because it's someone who has spent her life wrestling with faith, identity, conditioning, and the deep search for alignment, okay? That little thing that we like to align ourselves. She was raised as a preacher kid, a PK, that's what I like to call. And she found herself questioning the disconnect between all those loving things, the creator, and the injustice that she witnessed, especially towards women. Okay. So we're going to be talking to somebody about girl power up in here. Okay. Because we know how to do things. And what I love about our guest is that she's a certified hypnotherapist, an ordained interfaith minister, technologist, a project manager, storyteller, a proudly human. Oh, I love that. A proudly human. This lady wears so many great hats. And her work, what I like about it, blends spiritually, neuroscience, hypnotherapy, and systems thinking to help people just break free from limiting their narratives and just helping people discover who they are, their true selves, their true potential. And today we're going to be talking about what it means to reprogram your mind. This very big, and protect the human potential and align our spiritual nature with lived experiences. Therefore, without further ado, Miss Robin Harris, welcome to Conversations with Iris. Bienvenida.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, girl, I am so glad you're here too. And I just have to say, I love all about the girl empowerment, and you wear so many hats. I love it.
I think every human really does.
Oh, girl, I just love it. And for those of you that are listening, she is tuning in all the way from Georgia. And Georgia has a special place in my heart, girl. I love Georgia. I'm telling you, you guys know how to
Nice.
cook some good food. Oh, I
Oh,
love it.
yeah.
I love it. Robin, I definitely want to take a little bit of your time here and just tell our listeners who you are. You wear so many hats. Let's go ahead and rip those onion layers apart and tell a little bit of our audience a little bit about you, your upbringings, and what you're doing now and what led up to that.
Yeah, being raised in the church, um, I loved my father. Now, I loved him. He's gone. He passed at 99. And I adored him, but not his religion.
Yeah.
And growing up in the church, I grew up in the kind of church we didn't have music. They didn't want you to play cards, and women are to be silent, and women can't be leaders, and it was just really suffocating, and
Wow.
it was confusing to me. And the home environment was sheltered, but when I would go out into the church environment, then I got all those messages and I couldn't reconcile them. I just couldn't make any sense of it. And I came to the conclusion that I was not lovable. And I began to create my life from that belief. Even though I had a large family that loved me and adored me, and I was my daddy's baby, I internalized a belief that came out of being female
Wow.
and a second class citizen
Mm.
in the eyesight of God. And so that set me up for what I was calling my church wound. And I use past tense because Iris only recently the healing settled.
Wow.
And I said to
Mm.
myself, "Oh my God, I love my Christian roots, even though I don't consider myself Christian. Love Jesus, not the religion though." And I said, "I love my Christian roots because they've given me so much to think about." And I can look back and think about Jesus and separate all that from those other messages.
So
And
beautiful.
and so the reason this is important is because whatever narrative we buy into, we begin to create our whole reality from that. So for the longest time, my reality was I'm not lovable. So my first marriage proved that. The people I attracted into my life, my toxic relationships. And then something tragic happened. My mother died unexpectedly,
Oh.
and she was my ally. She was my advocate. She was the person that gave me an escape from that belief system, and she was gone.
Mm.
And I honestly believe that she was doing some work from the other side because that healing went to a whole nother level. And Robin went from being unlovable to being, "I'm a queen.
Mm.
Whoever gets me is getting a prize." And I went through the summer of marriage proposals and saying, "No, no, 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 no," because that's what God would tell me. "No, no, 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 no." And then I met my now and forever husband 27 years ago.
Oh,
Met him on December 6th, and
mm.
we were engaged by the end of the year.
Oh, that's
December 6th,
mm.
met and engaged by the end of the year. And 27 years, that man is more perfect for me than I ever, ever could have. I know that he is a godsend, and God told me yes, and I was like, "You kidding? I only known this guy 3 weeks. This is the one." So from I wanna say that I've had enough experience to know that things can turn around. You
Mm.
can be in the valley of despair at one point in your life, and if you're willing to do some work and surrender and come to a space of healing and allowing the healing, you can be at the top of the mountain and look out and say, "Oh my God, this view is beautiful." And that's pretty much how my life has been of wrestling with something, wrestling with it
Wow.
painfully. And then after wrestling with it, somehow I would surrender, and then God would say, like, "Okay, now we can get on to the healing part. Are
Mm.
you tired of wrestling with this? Because if you wanna wrestle with it a little longer, you are welcome to, honey."
Oh, no, let's continue to wrestle with it.
Yeah, do you wanna
Yes,
keep wrestling with it, or do you
yes,
wanna be healed?
yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay, I'm ready to be healed."
Mm.
And
Mm.
so, my life has been a lot of surrendering,
Wow.
a lot of surrendering, and that brought me to realize that I was never broken, I was conditioned. We are conditioned from 0 to 7, we are basically programmed, and it's by it's our design, and in a perfect world, it would be beautiful, but how many of us live in a perfect world?
Mm. I don't think nobody does, you know?
Right,
I don't think nobody lives
right.
in a perfect world, I'll tell you that much. Mm-mm.
So that's kinda how I got to where I am, really about going back, looking at those old stories, those old beliefs, those old narratives, and saying, does this align up with how I understand God? And my understanding is not perfect, but it's much more mature than it used to be. And
Mm,
if it doesn't line up, then that belief needs to be reprogrammed and removed.
mm, Wow, that's already very deep. I'm telling you right now. Surrendering, but you were never broken. Though that's very deep. I just that was the biggest takeaway for me right there. That's
Yeah,
just very deep for me.
yeah,
When
yeah.
you talk about alignment, you talked about wrestling painfully. What did that look like? What things did you have to surrender? And of course, you don't have to go too deep into detail with that, but what were those things that you were wrestling with? Like, can you give us an example? And the reason why I
Well,
say that is, and I'm sorry, and the reason why I say that is because our listeners out there, somebody may be wrestling with something out there. They're
yeah,
struggling.
yeah.
Can you give us an example of those things that you had to surrender?
During my I'm not lovable period, I remember at Thanksgiving that I cooked my first meal for a man. And I was probably like 18 or 19, and I get all my mother's recipes and my how do I make the dressing and my how do I make the turkey and my how do I make the greens. And I prepared this man a feast and he was a no-show.
Oh, no.
And
Mm,
just the relationship was it was a relationship that reflected I'm not lovable. And I was so crushed. I considered taking my own life.
oh my
And a voice says, call Sibby. And I'm like, "Who okay, why would I have my sister's best friend's phone number? She live in a whole different state. Call Libby. Open the drawer, get the phone book, and call her." And I was obedient.
mm,
I I didn't come out of a religion that believed in, spiritual phenomena or experiences or, having, angels talk to you or guides or anything. That was not my experience. But for some reason, this voice did not threaten me. And so I opened the junk drawer, found that old phone book, opened it
mm,
up, and lo and behold, Sibby's number was in there.
mm.
And I sat in the rocking chair in my bedroom, and she prayed for me. And I never, ever, ever talked to her again. That woman saved my life.
Wow.
God sent me to her. Go to her. You don't go to family. Don't, because they wouldn't have been able to understand that. She didn't ask me why was I considering this crazy thing, and she didn't lecture me and she didn't judge me. She just prayed for me, and that was the end of that. And so when I say wrestling with not feeling lovable or wrestling with not feeling like I'm good enough, those feelings made me feel like I didn't want to be here anymore.
Mm. Wow. Wow. How did that conversation with Libby, I'm sorry, after you had that conversation, you guys prayed. What happened? What you mentioned that was the aha moment for you after that conversation?
I fell again, but that ended that cycle of not
Wow.
wanting to be alive anymore. It just went away. I don't remember what she said. I just remember sitting in the rocking chair and her praying for me.
Wow. Mm,
And when we hung up the phone, we didn't have no long conversation. When we hung up the phone, that destructive thought was no longer there.
wow. Wow, it definitely changed you completely.
Yes.
Completely changed you.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Mm.
And you don't know when God is using you to serve someone else. You don't know if you're, "Hello, how are you doing?" and, "Oh, beautiful, don't you look gorgeous today?" or, "Let me buy you a cup of coffee." You don't know when that random act of kindness is a rescue line. You don't know.
Mm. Definitely goes a long way, right?
Yeah.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. I definitely, Robin, want to talk about that feminine, like from faith to feminine tension and truth. And since we're touching base on that a little bit, I mean, you have spoken openly about that disconnect between all the loving creator and the oppression of woman, right?
Oh my
It's
gosh.
just, I feel like that's not a small thing to wrestle with now. It really is
No,
not.
even Iris, even what's going on with the whole Epstein and
Oh, yes.
all this other kind of stuff. There is an assault against the feminine, and the feminine divine has been removed
Mm.
from our our Western traditional religions. You have
Our
a
society.
shadow of it in Judaism. You have a shadow of it. The there's a word for it, but the feminine face of God. But from the Abrahamic religions, the feminine divine has been removed,
Mm.
and and the the hostility and the desire to control and to steal the feminine's divine connection. He is equally my God as he is any male's God.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something, and
Mhm.
see if this tracks for you. In the Bible, I don't know where it is, but this is Old Testament. There was a man who had a daughter, and so the men wanted to have sex with the angels. This is how the story goes. And the man is like, "No, no, no, don't." He's gonna defend and protect the angels by offering up his daughter. Now, first of all,
Jeez.
my mind says, when oh, I use colorful language, so I'm gonna,
No, no,
like,
no, go
bleep that
ahead.
up. Okay, so
Use
when
it.
the hell would an angel need protection from a human?
Mm.
In what reality would that be necessary? And what kind of father would offer up his daughter
His own
as
daughter,
a
yeah.
sacrifice?
Mm. Wow, that's crazy. No good father would do that.
No good father.
No, no, no. Mhm. Mm.
And
Mm-mm-mm.
and so I mean, we even have evidence of the female being downgraded as if she is not equally human.
Yeah.
And if you really think about it, and I'm gonna say this, and it's not to be mean, but if you believe in the Immaculate Conception, the only party that wasn't required in that was the male.
Mm. Yep. You're
So
so right about that.
the female had a place at that table.
Yeah, we're just as equally important, or we were, or still
We
are.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, and it's just, I think so much of the world is inverted, and I feel that no matter what the original intent of the master teacher was, across many of the traditional religions, there have been clever humans that have hijacked it and perverted it and made it something different than it was intended to be.
Wow. So, like, how do you take that tension and reshape it into your spirituality? I guess that would be my question. How can we do that?
Well, I kinda used to go back and forth, God, as Father or Mother, Father, God, or universe or whatever. And you have to build the relationship. I'm the youngest of 9. I came from a very
Wow.
loving family, not perfect, but loving. And the relationship that my parents had with each of the children was quite unique. It was like we had different parents because they adjusted. They didn't try to treat us all the same.
It was each different, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so when we are plugging in to a relationship with God, it's got to be personal.
Mm.
It's got to be personal. You're not going to get that relationship from a book. You're not going to get it from a pulpit. You're not going to get it from listening to a pastor, a reverend, a rabbi. You're going to get it by having a personal relationship. And you will find that the divine will meet you where you are.
Mm. Every
So,
relationship is different, pretty much.
yes.
Yeah.
So if you need father, father. If
Mhm.
you need mother, mother.
Mother.
If you like, I don't wanna make God seem like a human because he's not. It's not. It is neither male nor female. It is all. Then universe. If you're scientific, it's the field. It will meet you where you are.
That's amazing though, right? Isn't that amazing? An individualized relationship, that's what it is.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
That is simply amazing. Mm.
And where you are today, that relationship will morph and it will change in time.
Mm.
So, start where you are with what you need. If you need a divine mother, my friend, she's like the divine mother, oh, she loves the divine mother. If you need the father, father. If you need goddess, goddess. If you need God, God.
And I
Love
like
Jesus, Jesus.
Yeah, and I like that because it caters to all the different religions or different
Yes.
beliefs or whomever is your person, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
with all due respect to our listeners, but it's for everyone, you know?
Yes.
Religion is individualized for your tailored to your, I guess, preference, I guess? Am I saying that correctly?
It's religion is man's best attempt to know God. It's man's best attempt. And all of the quirkiness and the biases that are part of our society then get brought into that narrative.
Mm,
And we have to heal that. We
yeah,
have to evolve from that.
mm. So, Robin, I wanted to definitely just touch on this and shift and talk about reprogramming the mind because that's something that you mentioned too. Because you have described your life as a long season of seeking, as you mentioned, and not giving up, even when you felt that discouragement. You had, like you mentioned at one point, you were not lovable. I like how you mentioned that period of time or that season in your life. But now you talk about reprogramming the mind. Oh, I love the way that sounds. That sounds pretty
Mhm.
deep, right? For
Mm.
someone listening who feels stuck, I mean, we have listeners out there that inherited narratives or limiting beliefs. I mean, what does that reprogramming of the mind look like in practice?
Well, first of all, I like people to start with a premise. And if you can wrap your head around this premise, this will tell you how important the mind is. Created in the image and the likeness of the creator obviously doesn't mean our bodies, it means our minds. The part that we cannot see is modeled after, it's like the micro version of the macro. And the like God creates by the thinking and the feeling and declaring. And we create by the thinking and the feeling and the declaring. And this is not always a verbal thing, it's a vibrational thing. And the subconscious mind, anything that gets accepted as a truth without being assessed and evaluated, and of course, when we're children, we can't.
Yeah. It's hard when you're a child.
It goes into our subconscious mind and it becomes part of our narrative. So in hypnotherapy, and hypnotherapy is not the only method for this. In hypnotherapy, what we do is we have a method of putting the body into a hypnotic state, which we go into hypnotic states all the time. That's not anything new, but we use it for therapeutic purposes to swap out limiting beliefs. And it's not magical. It's not like I explain like it's, how some weeds are stubborn
Yeah.
and pulling them up by the roots, and then they're going to come back and you got to pull them up again and you got to, it's like a
Process.
garden.
Yeah. It's a process.
Some roots are stubborn
Mm.
and you have to keep pulling them out, pulling them out. So repetition of the new belief. And this is why affirmations don't work, because the condition for hypnosis is you have to be in the hypnotic state first before you can actually get to the subconscious mind.
Wow. Mm. So
And self hypnosis is also a wonderful tool, and self hypnosis and hypnosis can work together. And then if you integrate in prayer and meditation and then other modalities, you basically have to build a toolbox
mm.
for working with the mind.
I love it how you merge the spiritual part of that into neuroscience. I love that.
Mhm.
It just blends very nicely because I feel like, and I'm just thinking about this because I love neuroscience. I love science stuff in the medical field, but it's kind of like forcing the brain, limiting yourself to what you were raised with, and I don't know, like shedding away those experiences that you lost yourself. I mean, do you see
Mhm.
where I'm coming from,
Mhm.
I think that's very important. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, neuroscience is a very important part of it, because if you think of the brain is like the interface for the mind. Now, the way the brain works, it's a use it or lose it organism. And if you keep practicing something over and over, the brain, because it uses a lot of energy, is designed to say, oh, we're not going to keep using up all this energy. Let's wire that in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when it wires it in, it puts it into the subconscious mind.
Mm.
And so now I will be honest, I have to take myself off of social media because I will be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Now I look up and I'll be like, holy moly, I've been over here like over an hour. I was supposed to just been looking at one post somebody sent me.
Ooh, child is addicting. It's
It is designed that way.
Oh my god. It's like retraining your brain to, like, stop
Yes.
scrolling.
I say and retraining the brain is like potty training a child
Mm,
or house training a puppy.
mm.
Now, some children, I don't have any children, but my nieces and nephews, I was back in the time when you used to wash the diapers in the toilet.
Yeah.
So let's not go there. But some children are easy to toilet train.
Yeah,
And then some of them rascals, they are so stubborn.
it's very hard. They just don't
And
wanna go through it. Mhm.
yes, and our brains are like that.
Mm.
Some things we can rewire very easily, and some things, we gonna it's the roots are so deep. and those thoughts are so entrenched, and then they've gathered other thoughts and beliefs that make them even more strong and rooted into our belief system, so that when you get rid of a core limiting belief, it can actually change your entire life.
Wow. Training the mind, right?
Training the mind.
Training the mind. Wow. I believe it. I believe it 110%, and I mean, what are your thoughts with AI like now? Like
Oh
that's
my
another
God.
thing. I know trust me, when I did my research, you were like, this is a critical turning point. It really is. It's like we're like moving fast paced. Everything is AI now. Every freaking
And
thing.
for one
Mm,
thing, we need to be don't be afraid, because fear is not a good place for us to land, because that takes away our higher cognitive abilities. When we sit in fear, that doesn't put us in the optimal place to make the best decision. So don't be afraid,
mm,
but be aware. And I'm going to say, here's where I stand. There is an agenda to make the human feel obsolete and unnecessary.
obsolete and necessary. That's deep.
Unnecessary.
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 Oh, that's deep, girl. That's deep. That's
And
very
to
deep.
to make the human believe that I'm going to create something artificial
Mm,
that's better than what God created.
mm, 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 mm.
That is a very anti-human narrative.
Wow. It's the danger artificial intelligence then.
Is not the danger is not the artificial intelligence, it's the human.
The human consciousness.
The human pushing that
Yep.
narrative.
Yep.
And also the human who's only concerned about, "Oh, I can make a whole lot of money because I won't have to hire anybody."
Jesus. Mhm.
Yeah, you won't have anybody to buy your stuff either.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So,
crazy.
and here's another thing, Iris. We talk about what it means to be human. See, to be human means you are a dual citizen. You are a citizen of the divine kingdom, and you are a citizen of the earth kingdom. Dual citizenship.
Mm.
Now, if we disown our divine part and we downgrade our human part, what are we left with?
Oh my goodness, nothing. I mean,
Nothing.
nothing. Nothing. Mm.
And I'm not saying don't use it. Use it. Use the technology. Use it ethically, responsibly, and safely where it makes sense. I don't need AI in my toothbrush.
Did that part.
Right, right, right.
I don't need AI to tell me like, oh, like to be my doctor, I feel like at
Or
times.
what's in my refrigerator?
Yeah, or what's in my closet. Oh my god. What should I post today on TikTok?
Right, right. And there are people turning over
Mhm.
personal agency, giving these AI agents access to their bank accounts, to their passwords, to credit cards, and you want this thing to go autonomously, to go and do stuff. That's a slippery slope. From a security perspective, it's a freaking nightmare.
Mhm. Very dangerous too.
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous. Yeah.
And we say with great power comes the need for great responsibility. And what we're seeing is recklessness and irresponsibleness
Mm.
to such a degree, it's mind-boggling. So the human has to upgrade itself so that they can properly handle this technology.
Wow. It's a lot, and it's only gonna continue to evolve.
Oh,
That's the thing.
yes,
It's
yes,
gonna continue to change even more and more. I mean,
yes,
we're what, 2026? Imagine in 2030.
yes, yes.
Mhm.
And when we outsource too much to technology, it makes the human dumber. And I say dumb technology plus smart technology is a recipe for disaster.
Mm. Oh my
So
god.
the human needs to upgrade, and we have so much potential. Iris, our human potential is mind boggling. Why are we ignoring human intelligence?
Mm.
I'm not saying don't use artificial. It's not intelligent. It's predictive. It's not intelligence is a divine design. It's not a human design. But why are we ignoring human intelligence and human potential?
Yeah, it's definitely there. We have it inside of us for sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
all inside of us. Robin, I want to talk about something beautifully that you had said. I just love the way you put this because we talk about the human potential, protecting the human potential,
Yes.
that evolution aspect of it. And you often say, if I quote, like, we're like caterpillars, resting
Yeah.
our butterfly potential, even going to war against our own evolution.
Yes.
Girl, that's deep. That is
It's
so
it
deep.
is.
Oh, mm,
Iris.
that's
When I
powerful
when
imagery.
I realized that, I'm like, "Oh my god. The caterpillar doesn't know it's a butterfly."
Yeah, yeah.
And did you know that only about 5% of caterpillars become butterflies?
So sad, but it's true. It's true. Yeah.
And so if we look at human potential, we all have it, but that doesn't mean we're all going to take responsibility for it. And if we let these self-interest of people who don't care about humanity have their way,
Mhm.
we will be bamboozled into atrophying the potential that we have already have.
Wow. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. It is.
Human potential. Every human should go when you get a chance, when you go, look in the mirror. When you go, look in the mirror at yourself and just think about the magnificence and the intelligence in your human body. Now, the human body is a vehicle for the soul. Now, if you're going to design something so magnificent as the vehicle, the soul must be overwhelmingly awesome.
Yeah, very true. Very, very
But
true.
we have to take responsibility for that.
Mm.
We
Mm-mm.
have to take responsibility. It doesn't come online automatically. Mother Nature did her part already. The next part of our human evolution, it's going to be because we are cooperating and co-creating our next version with the divine.
Mm. And that's beautiful, Robin. I definitely want to transition here to as we come to a close because there's something that stands out about your work because it's more than just fixing people. It's about reminding us as individuals, our human potential could go higher than above. I mean, we have it all in there. And you remind people that we're not broken, we're just conditioned. I love that. I love that. And I just wanted to say this. If someone listening right now feels disconnected from their higher nature, that's listening to this show, what advice would you give them? What would be that little first small step they could take towards excavating that hidden treasure within themselves?
The first thing I would say is to downregulate the nervous system and bring in some calm. peace, and quiet. And you can use all kinds of audios for that. Brain.fm has amazing music. It's real music, but they use AI to, you can have an infinite playing. Sometimes I'm listening to it all night. It's got meditations, it's got guided meditations. I use the lo-fi for when I need to focus,
Me
but
too. Oh my
down,
God. Me
you
too.
use it?
I love lo-fi. It
Oh
helps
my
me
God,
concentrate.
yes.
Can't have something in the background that, like, if I have Beyonce on, let's just throw that out there. I'm not gonna get work done because I'm gonna be like, if you like it, I'm gonna know all the lyrics. You know what I mean? To put a ring on it, Sasha Fierce. No, I have to just listen to either lo-fi beats. I listen to opera or just like classical music or just
Mhm,
jazz.
mhm.
It just helps me focus. So I'm glad that you brought that up because I could attest to you, Robin, that does help me concentrate. Oh yes, it does.
And
Mhm.
just bring yourself to a calm place of calm and a place of quiet and ask, show me the first thing I need to do to move closer to you and to allow for my own healing. Just show me. Just show me. And if you need to cry and weep, and like sometimes I'm crying. I'm
Mm,
crying. God, I just need you to show me something. Show me. Tell me. Talk to me. And just expect and know that through some mechanism, you might hear something, feel something, you might get a text, somebody will send you an email, a book will fall off the shelf and hit you in the head. uh, you'll see something you will get something,
mm,
because when you reach for the divine, you will find it's already there. You got to reach for it though.
mm.
Reach for it.
Reaching for that divine.
Mhm.
And Robin, can you tell our listeners where can they find you, learn from you more, the lifestyle, connect with your work, and follow all the beautiful things that you're doing? Can you let our listeners know where they can find you?
Okay. My main website, and it's got some free resources on there also. The number three, hellos. Three hellos.com.
Freehellos.com. You
And the
guys
three
were
hellos are hello, magnificent mind.
mm,
Hello, tender heart. Hello, untapped potential. And you can download my free guide, Life Design Guide, and you can contact me. You can email me. But yeah,
mm, Thank you so much, Robin, for letting our listeners know where they could find you. I just want to thank you so much for this beautiful and simply enlightening conversation. It's beautiful, everything that you said, and definitely gives me a lot to think about. And it will definitely give our listeners a lot to think about. And I want to thank you so much for sharing this space with us.
thank you for having me, Iris.
And in final closure to my listeners, just a big takeaway from me is what Robin mentioned. We should not be ignoring our human potential. Look in the mirror, look at all the intelligence that we could offer. Look at all that side. Very, very important. Robin, I want to thank you again, once again, for coming in here. It's just been very enlightening. Thank you to all my listeners. Con mucho amor. This has been Conversations with Iris. Stay aware, stay human. Until next time, thank you all.